My name is Earl Maynard. I was raised in Warren County, and I was raised on a farm up in edge of Warren County. As a kid, we milked cows, lived on a farm all my life. I moved here in 1970, and the original 50 acres is where we're sitting. And then when the land come up around me, I tried to buy what was joining me.
How many acres do you have total now?
I've got about 210 or something like that right now, somewhere in that neighborhood. Got into the cattle business whenever I was here because I could handle cattle myself, and you didn't have to have as much equipment to farm with cattle as you did row crop. I farmed when I was a kid, and then I was probably out of farming about 4 or 5 years whenever I first graduated from high school. Then I went back into farming. I done a little row crop farming in the early 60s. And then I got drafted in service. Then when I came out of service, I went back to farming. So here I am on this farm here with cattle. When I first started here, when I went to work at Nissan, I took care of all this myself. I mean, I didn't hire nobody. I put the hay up, everything myself. And I'd come home at night, work till midnight. I probably had 250 head at one time. Something to that neighborhood, cows and calves all. I used to run probably 100 to 125 brood cows. Kept the calves and background them, fed them. Well, I probably enjoy the calving season the most because you get to see what you produced. And I always try to, when I bred the cows, I always try to upgrade every time with a bull. And then I always kept my heifers. That way you get better stock, produce better calves. That was always my goal, to produce the best calves I could for feeder calves. When they weaned them, I'd weigh them. Then I'd weigh them when I background them to see how much weight I'd gained or stuff like that. That's probably what I enjoyed most of all. This with the calving season, you see how many you saved, and that was always a big deal, calving season. The stuff I have in the barn, I put in there to catch your cattle so you can work them. Me and my wife usually works them by herself. I mean, up to years ago to where we couldn't, but we worked them, just me and her.
Here, what they do is they have the cows coming through that way, and they come through here, and then you put them in here, and this thing right here, see, this is a scale.
Okay.
And it gives you the weight.
Back when I was a kid, we just catch them with a rope, but you don't do that anymore. But that's probably my favorite equipment is working the cattle. Is the equipment I have in the barn. Of course, I bought it, put it in there for convenience, so you won't take so long. That's the reason the barn set up in all those pens, so you can divide the cattle up. I always take my calves and put them in one pen and put the cows in the other. And so, to me, you can't run them down the same chute at the same time. You run calves down there and they turn around and start the other direction. Well, then you're in problems. You got to turn them all out, start over. That was my goal, to be able to do it by myself, so you won't have to have so much help. That's the reason I bought all that stuff.
Make it easier
Right.
on a one-man thing,
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't realize you had worked a full-time job too.
Oh yeah,
full-time job all that time that you had been farming also.
Well, I mean, I worked 23 years at Nissan and averaged 55 hours a week. You can figure out how much that is. It's like the vet told me one day about being a veterinarian. You've got to love it. So you have to love farming. You have to love hard work, because that's all there are to it. Is most of it's just hard work. There's no lot of glory to it, and you have to enjoy it. It's like, I guess, like people play ball or whatever they do. If you enjoy it, well, that's what the reason I stayed into it. I just enjoyed fooling with the cattle, and it was just entertainment for me. Like people go fishing, I guess. I used to farm for same thing as you would go fishing.
You're enjoying that.
Right, I just enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed cutting the hay, working around the farm, feeding the cattle in the wintertime, just taking care of them.